नमो विष्णुपादाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। अमज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञान अंजनशलाकाय चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं जनभूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुश्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवनं च। चिरूपं साग्रजातं सगणशिरघुनाथं वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपदं सगणललितां श्रीविशाखान्वितं च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपीश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषाभानुसुत देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यः वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमती भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. So thank you very much for attending the classes. Today we are going to start the Nrsimhadev Chaturdashi special series. So in this series we will be different aspect of Prahlada Maharaja and Nrsimha Katha, Nrsimha and Prahlad Katha. We will be presenting different aspect. Just like today's items, today's topic is the teaching of Prahlada Maharaj to his demoniac schoolmates, school fellows, class fellows. So we will start today. In this way, we will complete the total series with 7 and 8 sessions until the Nrsimhadev Chaturdashi. As you know, this Nrsimhadev's appearance of August and very adorable appearance of Nrsimhadev is near approaching. So it is always very much recommended and very much auspicious, very much purifying, and blessings from Lord if we speak about his glories, his pastimes. So let us start with this on these notes. Let us start with this teaching of Prahlada Maharaj. So as we know that Prahlada Maharaj, it is beautifully stated that the identity of Prahlada Maharaj, why we are going to learn Prahlada Maharaj. Because it is stated that, beautiful verses I can show you, that how it is stated that we should Mahajana Jana Gatasapantha. So it is stated in these beautiful verses from the Madhya 17:1. It says, Tarka Patishta Sutaya Vibhinna Naso Rishiyasya Matam Nabhinnam Dharmasya Tattvam Nihitam Guhyanam Mahajana Jaina Gatasapantha. So the secret or the solid truth, Dharmasya Tattva means solid truth of religious principle, is hidden, Nihitam Guhyayam, in the heart of the Mahajana. Mahajana means the self-realized soul, the exalted soul. Mahajana Jaina Gatasapantha. So it is hidden or placed in the heart of the Mahajana, the great devotees. So we should follow the progressive path that is laid down by the Mahajana. So our principle in our Krishna consciousness means we must follow the Mahajana, the exalted devotees. If we follow that, then we can crack or we can grasp, we can assimilate, we can understand this solid truth of religious principle, solid truth of Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, by Swadhyaya, we cannot understand. Or by hearing from Tom, Dick and Harry, we cannot understand. Therefore, that is the injunction of scriptures, that in order to success in Krishna consciousness, success in attaining the bhakti, one must follow the Mahajana. Otherwise, tarka pratishta, it is a tarka means by dry argument we cannot conclude what is truth. We cannot ascertain the conclusion of the truth. It is inconclusive, of pratishta. Sutaya vibhinna. Vedic scripture has different opinion. By reading Vedic scriptures, and which has so many different opinion, we cannot also ascertain the truth. Naso Rushijasam mina matam na bhinnam. The Rushi, the sages, a sages is not a sages if his opinion differs from other sages. So in this way, we cannot ascertain because things are very, topsy-turvy, very much jumble. So how to understand Krishna consciousness, how to understand the religious principle, the solid truth of religious principle. So here it is stated that dharmasya tattvam nihitam guhyam mahajana jena gata sapanta. We have to follow the mahajana. We have to follow the progressive path chucked by the mahajana, the great devotee. Now we should understand that then what is the Mahajana related to Prahlad Maharaj? So there are 12 Mahajana has been mentioned in Shastra. So one of the Mahajana, one of the eminent, prominent Mahajana is Prahlad Maharaj. That's why we are hearing, we are glorifying the teaching of Prahlad Maharaj. Because he is a Mahajana and his teaching will help us to improve and perfect our life in Krishna consciousness. So it is stated in these beautiful verses in 6th canto of Bhagavatam that who are the 12 Mahajana. Soyambhu Narada Sambhu Ko. Soyambhu Narada Sambhu. Soyambhu means Brahmaji. Brahmaji is self-born. Soyam is not born by any father and mother. Soyambhu, from any mother. Narada is exalted devotee son of Brahma. Sambhu is Lord Shiva, Vaishnavanam Jatha Sambhu. Kaumara, the four Kumaras, son of Brahmaji. Kapila Dev, the incarnation of the Lord. Manu, the main is coming from Manu. Prahlad, Janaka, Visma, Balir, Vaishakir, Bayam. So here it is name is that Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad is also one of the Mahajan. It is stated here that this is a 12 Mahajan. Lord Brahma, Bhagavan Narada, Lord Shiva, the four Kumaras, Lord Kapila, the son of Devoti, Swayambhavu Manu, Prahlad Maharaj, Janaka Maharaj, grandfather Vishma, Bali Maharaj, Sukadev Goswami. I means this Yamaraj is speaking, Yamaraj. Myself know the real religious principle. My dear servant, this transcendental religious principle which is known as Bhagavad Dharma, or surrender unto the Supreme Lord and love for Him is uncontaminated by material modes of nature. It is very confidential and difficult for ordinary human being to understand. But see, it's very difficult. Therefore, we should follow the Mahajana Jana Gatasapanta. Therefore, today we are assembled here to hear about the glories of Prahlad Maharaj because he is a Mahajana. Mahajana means exalted devotee, a self-realized soul. So without that we cannot understand. And let's start with the 7th chapter of the 6th canto, where it is stated this, where the Prahlad Maharaj is teaching to his school fellows. Prahlad Maharaj is a son of a atheist father, Hiranyakasipu, and he was also admitted a atheistic school, where this all the children, all the schoolmates, also the son of atheist or the Rakshasa, the Asuras. So, so there is very slim chance for them to cultivate Krishna consciousness. But Prahlad Maharaj, who is a Mahajan great devotee, who understood or who received the knowledge from the great devotee Narada Muni, another eminent Mahabhagavata, eminent Mahajana. So he learnt when he was in the womb of the mother, Kayadu. So then in the school, whenever there is an opportunity, just like a tiffin hour, recess, so he used to assemble all of his students and try to educate them, preach and talk about the whatever he has heard from Narada Muni, about the Bhagavata Katha, about the Krishna consciousness. So we will study his teaching today, which is a very, very paramount important for us, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was in Puri, he used to, every day he used to go afternoon to Tota Gopinath, where the Gadadhar Pandit was there. So he used to hear two katha, two pastime, one in Durba Katha, Durba Maharaj, then Prahlad Maharaj, 100 times, again and again, again and again. It's so much endeared to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Apart from this, why these topics of Prahlad Narsingha Katha is very, very paramount important for all the devotees, because Sukadev Goswami has invested 10 topics to narrate the Narsingha and Prahlad Katha. On the other hand, Sukadev Goswami has invested only 5 topics for the greatest pastime of the Lord Krishna, the crown jewel of the pastime, that is called Rasa Leela. That itself proves that the importance of this particular Narsingha and Prahlad Narsingha Katha. Apart from this, you see the Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada extensively spoke or gave the lecture on this subject matter of Prahlad Narsingha Katha, 7th canto, extensively. And he used to say that this is very much relevant and contemporary to the modern civilization, because in modern civilization people are a representation of Hiranyakasipu. Hiranya means gold, Kasipu means bed. So everybody in this modern 21st century of corporate rat race, everybody is racing and rushing towards the money, after money and bed, sense gratifications. So they are all like Hiranyakasipu mentality. So it's pretty much tremendous relevant. This teaching is tremendous relevant. Therefore, Prabhupada is very much extensively spoke particularly. So it is also very important for us. Let us start with the very beginning notes of Prahlada Maharaj to his class fellows. Prahlada Uvacha Kamarya Acharit Prajna Dharman Bhagavatan Iha Dullabham Manusam Janma Tadapi Adrubam Arthadam. Beautiful verses. The opening notes itself is so beautiful. Kamare Acharit Prajna. Kamare means in the very tender age. Here Prahlad Maharaj says, one who is sufficiently intelligent should use the human form of body from the very beginning of life, in other words, from the tender age of childhood, to practice the activities of devotional service, giving up all other engagement. The human body is most rarely active, and although temporary like other body, it is meaningful because human life one can perform devotional service. Even a slight amount of sincere devotional service can give one complete perfection. This verse is so important, so beautiful verses. Bhagavatam, when I say that Kaumari Acharata Pragyam Bhagavatam Dharma Miya. Kaumari means, so here it is important of Bhagavata Dharma. Bhagavatam Dharma means dealing. Bhagavatam means dealing with Supreme Personality of Godhead. We have so many dealings. We have dealings with wife, children, family, nation, community. But here it is said that Bhagavatam, dealing with Supreme Personality of Godhead, is paramount priority. Therefore, it should start from the calm or beginning of the life. Why beginning of the life? Because this body which we have got it, this human form of body, is a very unique opportunity. Although it is temporary, it has inherent adversity, but it has got invaluable opportunity to get out from this entanglement, get out from this predicament, get out from this complexity of repeated birth and death. Therefore, here the emphatically said by Prahlad Maharaj that from the beginning, because you do not know this body is Arthadam or Durbam, it has some purpose. Because human form of life is very, very purposeful, because it is not accidentally got. Asitim chaturas chaiva lakshanan jan jeev tan jeeva jatisu. Out of evolving 8.4 million, very beautiful verses. It's a very beautiful verses. So here says that asitim chaturas, asitim chaturas chaiva. These verses is from 2, 3, 19 purport. Asitim chaturashchaiva lakyam tan jiva jatisu brahmadvi purusei parpyam manusyam janma parayat. This human form of life, we have got this award, this human form of life. It is not awarded just like that accidentally. It's not so cheap. Very, very rare. Dullabam. Manusyam dullabam. Manusyam janma dullabam. Out of 8.4 million species of life, after undergoing transmigrating. Brahmadvi means transmigrating from one species to another species. In this way, we have come to this human form of life. That means it takes so long. The evolution process of 8.4 million species of life takes a long period of time. Then only we achieve this human form of life. Manusyam janma paraya. Manusyam janma. So many forms from marine life to human life. There is a beautiful verses. It is said that Jalaja Navalakshana. Is this a beautiful verses? It is stated that Jalaja Navalakshana. Sorry, in this verse it is has been categorized different species of life. It is said that Jalaja means marine life or water, aquatic life. Jalaja Navalakshani Stabara Lakshya Vimsanti. Jalaja means the species in the water, 900,000. Stabara means the plants, non-moving living entity plant. They are 2 million. Sorry, 20 million. Such as tree and planet. There are also 1.1 million species of insect. And there are 1 millions of birds. Then there is quadruple. Then there is reptiles. The quadruple Pasava. Tamsil Lakshana Pasava. Then 400,000 human species of life. So this is the categories division of this all the species of life. Jalaja Navalakshani Stabara Lakshya Vinchanti Krame Ruddha Sankhya Pakinam Dasa Lakshana Trimsal Lakshani Paso Chatul Lakshani Manusya. Manusya is only 400,000. 5% of 8.4 million species. Only 5% only Manusya. Not much. 5%. So after so much evolutionary process, we have got this form of human form of life, which is very rare, 5% only. And that out of that 5% also, there are uncivilized human beings. The civilized human being. Uncivilized means aborigines. And there are out of that 5%, there are civil. Some of them are civilized. Out of the civilized human being, there are people like they are very interested in karma kanda. Karmis, fruitive activities. The lower grade of things. They do not know actually value of life. They want after sense gratification, better standard of life for sense gratification. Out of those, few are Gyani. They want to merge with Supreme Lord. And out of many such Gyani, there are very few Muktas, liberated person. Out of many Mukta, one is very rarely one is devotees. So therefore, Krishna says, Manusyam, what is that? Out of many millions of men, one may understand me. So it's very rare to get a human form of life, very rare. And after getting human form of life, to execute Krishna consciousness properly, that is most rare. Therefore, here Prahlada Maharaja is giving priority that you have got this human form of life, which is very rare. Tadapi abhalatam jatam tesam atma vimanam barakananam anasrita govinda charana. After getting this rare human form of life, if you have misused this one, abhalatam means neglect. If you neglect this form of life and become childish and do not take shelter of Govinda Charana, the lotus feet of Govinda, or do not take up this Krishna consciousness, then this is very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. Because it's very rare human form. Dullabham manusya janmam dehinam dullabham manusya janmam dehinam khenabangura. It is stated in the dullabha manusya deha dehinam khenabangura. That means the manusya deha is very dullabha, very rarely active. Dehinam khenabangura. And it is prone to destroy anytime, prone to die. We do not know anytime. Padam yad vipadam. Anytime we can die. We cannot say that. Many people say that, oh, this is not the time. Why is Kaumara? Why from the beginning of the life. Why children should learn Krishna consciousness? No, they should learn because it is not certain. It is not guarantee that they may not die. Sometimes they argue that when we are old, then we will learn about all these things. But sir, you do not know. Old means what? Nearer to death. One cannot say that when he is going to die. Padam padam yad bipadam nati tesam. Shastra said 10, 14, 58. Every step is dangerous. Every moment is dangerous. We do not know. That means everybody is old. Everybody is nearing to death. Khena bhangura. And any time it can be lost. Any moment. Khena means moment. Any moment this human form of life can be lost. Therefore, Prahlada Maharaja is saying, don't waste your time. Don't waste your time. Kaumara acharat prajna. You try to execute, practice this Bhagavata Dharma from the beginning of life because you do not know when you are going to die. And if you neglect this, that means you are a colossal loss, gargantuan loss. Human form of life is meant to execute Krishna consciousness or Bhagavata Dharma. But we have, if we do not do execute this, this is a colossal loss, gargantuan loss. Therefore, this human form of life, it is Arthadam, is a very valuable. It gives a unique opportunity and it's very rare. Therefore, Shastra says that Labda Sudallamam idam bahu sambambate. Labda means this human form of life is achieved after many evolutionary process. After many birth and death, one achieved this rare human form of life, which although temporary, affords one opportunity to attain highest perfection. That is what exactly Prahlada Maharaja is speaking. Manusyam dullabam, manusyam janma dullabam, arthadam adurbam. Although it is temporary, adurbam means temporary, prone to die, but still it affords one opportunity to attain highest perfection. Therefore, the sober human being should quickly endeavor for the ultimate perfection of life, as long as body, which is always subject to death, has not fallen down and died. So therefore, one should, as long as he is strong and stout, he should execute from the beginning of the childhood, execute and finish this business of Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, we have to rot and rotate in this obnoxious principle of birth, death, disease, old age. So much untold miseries of life. This material world essentially means that, material life essentially means that repeated birth and death. Everything will be taken away. You may dream, you may plan your plans, your schemes, your dreams. Everything will be taken away, stripped away from you forcibly. Despite our tenacious determination to stay in this material home, we will be ejected by the death, very ruthlessly. Therefore, Shastra is advising you prepare. Prahlada Maharaj is teaching you, you do this. We do this from the very beginning of life. Otherwise, it is useless. Life is useless. Some parents also, they are not sending their children to Krishna consciousness. They say it is too small for them. Actually, they do not know. It's advice to parents. You should not be, if you cannot engage them in from the childhood, you should not be father. It is stated that nasasya, beautiful verses in this year. Janini nasasya, pita nasasya, guru nasasya. It is stated that the guru nasasyat, swajana nasasyat, pita nasasyat, janani nasasyat, daivam nasasyat, napatis nasasyat, na mochoyat am samupeta murtu. You should not be parents. One cannot deliver is dependent from the path of repeated birth and death. Should never become a spiritual master, relative, father, husband, mother, and worshipful demigod. Whole idea. Therefore, Prahlada Maharaj is emphatically saying, don't waste of time. It's very khenabangura. This human form of life, very temporary, anytime, like bubbles. Kamala dala jala jivana talamala. It's a drop on the lotus leaf. Any time it can be. It's tottering, staggering, tottering. Like just drop is tottering, any time it can fall down. Similarly, any time we can die. So, better to execute Krishna consciousness. Don't waste time. Time and tide wait for no man. Ayusha kheno kapi na labhyate sunno koti bhi. Chanakya Pandita say, Ayusha, this duration of life, the time cannot be obtained, cannot be gained, even at the cost of millions of dollars, millions of golden coin even. Sunno koti bhi. So therefore time is very, very precious, and human form of life very, very precious. We should execute this from the childhood. Do not waste time. That is the perfection. That is the sole aim ultimate of life. Otherwise, it is waste of time. It is just like if you do not do that, if you do not engage as per this Prahlada Maharaj teaching, then what is going to happen? This is also stated very nice in 10:51, 46. Beautiful verses are there. Bhagavatam is full of beautiful, wonderful verses. It's very wisdom verses, balls of wisdom. Labda janadulabam atramanusam. See, again it is said that. Tathachid abhayangam atyantanga. Labda janadulabam atramanusyam. The person who has an impure mind, who despite having somehow or other automatically obtain the rare and highly evolved human form of life. Human form of life is evolved because any other species of life, they do not have this opportunity. The Krishna consciousness or Bhagavatam Dharma is only a prerogative privilege of human form of life, Manusyam. Dharma eka adhika visesa. Dharmena hina pasuvi samana. Otherwise, it's animal life, sleeping, eating, mating, defending. That is there, common in animal and human being. Ahara nidra bhaya matuna. Samanesta etad manusvi pasuvi. Pasuvi ninnam. It is same, common in both human, eating, sleeping, how to eat, how to sleep, how to mate, how to defend. All are same. All are same. The business is same. Dog is eating, we are eating. As far as business is concerned, he is filling his stomach, we are filling his stomach. What is different? You may take in a restaurant or a very Taj Hotel Aubrey or hotel, very five-star hotel. He may eat, dog may eat on the street, but the main business is the same, filling the stomach. What is the different? No different. So therefore, why the human form of life, which is a special quality of Krishna consciousness, special prerogative, special privilege has been given, why you should waste the time? And who is wasting time, who does not worship your lotus feet, like animal that has fallen into blind well, he become again animal. It's like animal, two-legged animal. Animal, a man, human form of life without religiosity, without Krishna consciousness, without Bhagavatam Dharma is animal, is tantamount to be animal, and he has fallen into blind well. Such a person has fallen into darkness of material home. The home, material home, where we are so much enjoying the senses, just like animal, eating, mating, sleeping, defending, that is like a blind well without Krishna consciousness. Without Krishna consciousness, the so-called material home, sweet home, is just a blind well. Blind well, why? Because blind well, if you fall down, there is a very slim chance of rescuing. Because nobody will see you that you have fallen. Nor they will hear your cry, help me, save me, SOS, 9911. You cannot call 911. That is the problem. Therefore, it is said that it is very, very important to immediately take up this course, this Bhagavata Dharma. Otherwise, it's precarious, very precarious. It's beautiful. So, Bhagavatam is a ornament of verses, very wisdom verses. Then another verses say that resident of both heaven and hell desire human birth on the earth planet because human life facilitates the achievement of transcendental knowledge, love of Godhead, whereas neither heavenly nor hellish bodies effectively provide such opportunity. See how important this human form of life. Even the heaven and hell, they desire to get human birth. Heaven, it is full of luxury, they forget. Hell, full of torture, tormentation, they forget. They cannot do this Krishna consciousness. But this human form of life, particularly in Earth planet, facilitate efficiently to become Krishna consciousness and go back to home, back to Godhead, which is our main purpose of life, predominant purpose of life, cardinal aim of life. That's why this human form of life, very, 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 very rare and very unique opportunity to perfect our life. That is the injunction of, this is the instruction of Mahajana, the eminent, exalted devotee, glorious devotee of the Lord, Prahlada Maharaja. Therefore, the Narottam Das Thakur is singing that Manusya Janma Paya Radha Krishna Nabhajiya Janiya Suniya Visakainu. Now you have got this Manusya Janma, very rare opportunity, and Radha Krishna na bhajiya, you do not worship Radha Krishna. That means you deliberately drink the poison. This is called suicidal, spiritual suicide. This is called spiritual suicide. Spiritual suicide. Therefore, it is stated in these verses that nirdeham adyam sullabam srudullabam plabam sukalpam guru kannadharam. It's a beautiful verse. Prabhupada quoted many times this verse. Nirdeham adyam means human body which can award all benefit in life is automatically obtained by law of nature. Although it is very rare achievement. Everywhere it is said that it's a rare. It's not that. You have to evolve, So many years of evolution of different species of life, from marine life to human life. Then we get this human body. Can be compared to a perfectly constructed boat having spiritual master as the captain. Instruction of personality of Godhead is a favorable winds impelling it on the course. Considering all these advantages, human being who does not utilize his human life to cross the ocean of material existence must be considered the killer of his own soul. That is suicidal, spiritual suicidal. You have got this so much favorable condition, but you still do not execute, do not utilize this, do not take the leverage of this human form of life, then you are considered as suiciding you. You are suiciding, killing yourself. Means you are killing yourself. So that is the thing. So this first verse is also so much of teaching is there. I am not even giving much elaborated. I have so many verses in this regard. First verse of teaching, that means how the Mahajanas are very, very great personality. How their teaching is so sublime, so important. First verse itself is takes to so many. I did not finish it actually. So many things are there to be said. This second verse we will go. There are 30 verses. We should finish it 30 verses. So let's try. यथा हि पुरुषेह विष्णु पादोपसर्पणं यदेश सर्वभूतानां प्रिय आत्मेश्वर सुहृत्. The human form of life affords one chance to return home back to Godhead. Therefore, every living entity, especially human form of life, must engage in devotional service to the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. This devotional service is natural because Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is most beloved, the Master of the Soul, well-wisher of all other living beings. So here say that human form of life affords one a chance to return home back to Godhead. Our whole aim is to go back to Godhead. That is whole aim of the human form of life. And it gives a chance for every living entity to go back home, back to Godhead is very, very is the aim of life, ultimate aim of life. But this human form of life affords one chance to return. Therefore, Krishna says that after creating all species of life, Lord is not satisfied. In these beautiful verses, Lord says that by creating forms of like trees, reptiles, birds, snakes, so on, Lord was not satisfied within his heart. Then he created human life, which offered the conditioned soul sufficient intelligence to perceive the absolute truth and become pleased. That is why Prahlada Maharaj is telling that this human form of life offers a chance to return home back, because we have got this endowed with that intelligence. Lord has created human form of life, then he was very pleased because there is a chance to go back to God. Our whole idea is that we have turned our face away from the Lord. Therefore, we are rotting and rotating in this material world, transmigrating from one species to another species, one womb of the mother to another womb. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jastari. One species, one womb to another, one species to another. We are fleeing from one species to another species. To stop this movement, to stop this transmigration is our aim of life and go back to our original state. And this human form of life affords a chance. Therefore, every living entity must engage in devotional service to lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. That is called Sambandha Jnana. First of all, we must know our relationship with God, whom I should offer. My Bhagavatam Dharma means to Supreme Lord. This Sambandha Jnana. Prabhupada written in the purport. Sambandha Jnana means establish the religion. Any Vedic literature contains three types of things, three important things, three important theories, three important philosophy. What is that? Sambandha, Avideya, Prayojana. Sambandha means establishing our relationship with Supreme Lord. Say, Avideya and Prayojana. Avideya means relative function, means working in relation in respect to that relation. Prayojana means perfection of that relative function. That means perfecting in executing Krishna consciousness. So therefore, this is important that we must engage in devotional service to the lotus. Savai punsam paro dharma jato bhaktir adhokhya. Our paro dharma, the supreme occupational duty of human form of life, human being, is to engage in the devotional service of the Lord Vishnu. And this devotional service is natural because Lord Vishnu is Supreme Personality of Godhead, is most beloved. It's natural because Mamayansa Jivaloka Jivavutta Sanatana, we are all are part and parcel of the Lord. Eternal part and parcel. Eternal subservient part and parcel of the Lord. Just like a finger has a natural propensity to solve, unlike the body, whole body. So we have a natural, devotional service is very natural. Because we are part and parcel. Finger is part and parcel. Just like I like my finger. Why? Because it is attached to my body. It's a natural. So therefore, we are part and parcel of the Lord. It is natural devotional service as well. There is a beautiful verses in this regard also. They are in Srimadhya. Krishna prema nitya siddha Krishna prema sadhu kavyanaha sravanadi suddhachate kariyaga. Krishna prema is natural. It's natural because we are part and parcel. So we are all, Krishna is the father of everybody. So we have a children has a natural affection for his father. It's natural. Devotional service is natural therefore. But now it is contaminated. It is dormant. Just like a rust, just like a magnet. Magnet is naturally attracted to iron, but when it is rusted, it won't attract. We have to clean this, cleanse by following the teaching of Mahajana, Prahlada Maharaja. By hearing the instruction of Prahlada Maharaj, Sarvanadi Sudachite Kariya Aikya. By hearing process, we can revive our Krishna consciousness. So this human form of life afford a chance to revive our lost relationship or revive our eternal relationship with Krishna, Supreme Lord. Revive our Krishna consciousness. That is whole idea. This is the teaching of Prahlada Maharaj. And he is the well-wisher, master of the soul. Krishna is master, well-wisher of all other living entities. Krishna is well Bhaktaram Jaggam Tapasam Sarvaloka Maheswara Sruidam Sarvabhutanam. How much well-wisher Krishna is. I have no time. It will take 1 hour to explain the magnanimity of the Lord. Sruhidam means very, very well-wisher. He's not just like hi-bye friend. He's a well-wisher friend. How much well-wisher? You see that he is a spirit soul. Although we have betrayed him, we have estranged from him tri-memorial, we have turned away our face from him, but still he is accompanying us since time memorial, thinking that, waiting for us, expecting that we will turn again back to him. Turn our face back to him and he will bring us back. Therefore he is coming, counseling, educating, convincing, canvassing to bring us back, just like an affectionate father, how he behaves with a rebellious child. We are all a rebellious child. We are so much adamant. We are so much presumptuous, contemptuous, contumelious, not to reconcile with Supreme Lord. But as an affectionate father, he is always favorably discharged. He always think of our well-wishing friend. He is always a well-wisher. He is waiting for us when we will turn away. He is giving so much concession, so much education, so much counseling. He comes personally, which he does not need to come. He speaks instruction. He speaks instruction through his representative like Prahlada Maharaja to awaken our Krishna consciousness, to revive our relationship with him, to renovate our relationship with him. But we are so adamant to neglect that instruction. This is our misfortune. So then the next verse we will go, because it will take time to finish all the things. So let's try. 763. Few verses are very important. Sukham indrakyam daita deho yogena dehinam sarvatra labhyate daiva datha dukkham ayatnataha. Very important verses. Prabhupada quote this. Prahlada Maharaja says that, my dear friend, born of demoniac families, the happiness perceived with reference to the sense object by contact with body can be obtained in any form of life according to one's past fruitive activity. Such happiness is automatically obtained without endeavor. Just as we have obtained this. So, my dear friend, born of demoniac families, the happiness received. Why we are neglecting Krishna? Because we are after this happiness. We are running after the happiness, the material happiness. That's why we have turned away. Krishna bhuliya jiva bhagavancha kare, nikatastha maya tare jhapatiya dhare. So why we have come to this material existence? Because we want this material happiness, sense gratification. Krishna bhuliya jiva bhagavancha kare. Forgetting Krishna, we desire to separately to pursue the sense gratification. But here it is said that sense gratification is available in any form of life. But you have got this human form of life which is very rare and have afforded a very unique chance and opportunity. It's an invaluable perspective, invaluable opportunity. Now why you are going for sense gratification? There's so many species of life like a bees, any other species of life, they have this facility of sleeping, eating, mating differently. The bees are very good in that. Even a bee, small insect like bees, they are expert in multiplying. Hawks, dogs, they are very good. Why you are so interested in this? Every species of life you will get it. And they are also expert in that. Eating is every species of life is available. Sleeping also every species of life. It's automatically, you don't have to endeavor for that. According to your karma, you will get automatically. You don't have to pursue for that. Particularly when you are just like a Mercedes car. Mercedes car is not meant for loading, unloading something. Is not meant for that. Mercedes car. BMW car, luxurious car is not meant for loading, unloading all the things. They have a different purpose. But why you are using this Mercedes car for this purpose? For a low class purpose, sense gratification. It is stated in beautiful verses. This is also Prabhupada quoted very nice. No, what is this verse 1:5? It's beautiful. तस्यैव हेत प्रयतेत को विदा न लभ्यते यद् ब्रह्माताम् उपरि आदा तल्लभ्यते दुःखभाग् अथ अन्यथ सुखं कालेन सर्वत्र गभीररमः. It is stated that person who are actually intelligent, tasyaiva heta prayateta kovida means intelligent, philosophically inclined, should endeavor only for that purposeful end, which is not obtainable even by wandering from topmost planet Brahmaloka down to the lowest planet Patala. As far as happiness derived from the sense enjoyment is Concern, it can be obtained by automatically in course of time, just as in course of time we obtain misery, even though we do not desire them. See, beautiful verse, beautiful. So far as happiness is concerned, we do not endeavor it comes. Just like distress also comes. Nobody wants distress, but nobody wants misery. But it's just like COVID. Nobody wants COVID, but COVID comes. Nobody likes disease. Disease comes. Nobody likes old age. Old age comes. Nobody wants adverse situation, reversal of life. It comes. Just like happiness comes, distress also will come. Happiness also will come. Just like distress is coming, nobody is aspiring for that, but it comes. Similarly, happiness also, if you do not aspire, also it will come. Do not pursue for that. Nayam deham dehaja nilloke kastam kaman arati vidbujam. You are not the dog and hog. Why you are working hard for happiness? You have got this human form of life. This is what Dev is teaching. Eh, Whole Bhagavatam is all about teaching only, to awaken our Krishna consciousness. So he's teaching that why you have to got this, you have to work hard for happiness, like hawks and dogs. You have got human form of life. You purify. Tapodivyam putrika jayena suddhati satam. You purify your existence and get an unexhausted happiness. Brahma sokhyam anantam. Brahma sokha. You go for Brahma sokha, anantam, unexhausted happiness. Why you are after this tiny, puny, trivial happiness? Therefore, Prahlada Maharaja is telling, oh, this is not good. You should not do that. My dear, all this, my dear classmate, you should not do that. Tat prayasa na kartabya. He telling you should not endeavor for that. Tat prayasa means endeavor. Na kartabya, you should not perform. Yatha yato ayur bayo param na tatha bindante khyamam mukunda charanarambujam. Every verse is so important. Endeavor merely for sense gratification or material happiness through economic development are not to be performed, for they result only in loss of time, energy, with no actual profit. If one's endeavor are direct toward Krishna consciousness, one can surely attain the spiritual platform for self-realization. There is no such benefit for engaging oneself in economic development. They are very, very beautiful verses. We should not endeavor corporate rat race. We should not endeavor for all these sense gratification process. This is waste of time. Tasya prohiteta ko be the intelligent people, they do not go for this one. These are beautiful verses there. It is said that kamasya nendriya priti lava jivat javat jivasya tattva jigyasa nartha yasya karma bhi. Kamasya nendriya priti. Life desire should never be directed towards sense gratification. One should desire only a healthy life or self-preservation. Since human being is meant for inquiry about absolute truth, nothing else should be the goal of one's work. It's a very, very important instruction. The life desire should not be for direct or sense gratification. No. Jivasya tattva jigyasa, human form of life is given. Mercedes is given not for loading and unloading things. It is meant for a luxurious ride. So therefore, human form of life has a different purpose. It's meant for tattva jigyasa, absolute truth, athata brahma jigyasa or tattva jigyasa, to understand the absolute truth, inquire about absolute truth. That is whole idea of this human form of life. Nothing else should be goals of one war. Particularly, it says that you should not use for. It says that dharmasya sanustistasya punsa vishwaksana kathausu notapadadadiratim sarma evai kevalam. If you endeavor for sense gratification, this is waste of time. Sarma evai means this is a waste of labor. Occupational activity a man performs according to his own position are only so much useless labor if they do not provoke attraction for the message of the personality of Godhead. So here it is saying that your so-called activity is so much useless labor if they do not provoke you Krishna consciousness. So therefore, no, don't waste your time for this. Human being is not meant for that. It is meant for economic development. Everybody is after economic development. Money, 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 sweeter than honey, brighter than sunshine. No, it is not meant for that. Money is the source of all miseries. You will later verses it is there. Dharma sahi apapa bargasya narthaya नार्थाय उपकल्पते नार्थस्य धर्माय कंठस्य कामलाभ स्मृता. It is said that all occupational engagement are certainly meant for ultimate liberation, and they should never be performed for material gain. You do not get, you have got this human form of life, you are engaged in some occupational duties, and it is not meant for economic development or material gain. You should never use for material gain to cultivate sense gratification. Why you are going for dharma, artha, kama, so all the things? You should not go for all the sense gratification, cultivate sense gratification. That is completely animal life. You should have some religious principle. Liberation, dharma, artha, kama, moksha is there. After that, fifth purushartha, prema is there. That is the teaching of Prahlada Maharaja. Then we go to the next verse. We'll finish it or not, we don't know. So next verse is saying that therefore while in material existence, bhavam asrika, a person fully competent to distinguish wrong from right must endeavor to achieve highest goal of life as long as body is tough, strong and is not embarrassed by dwindling. This is the same verse. As long as we have this body, human form of life, we should not waste time for unnecessary engagement, which is useless labor. Our main, our whole idea to get liberation, get disentanglement, get disinfected from these material modes, disentanglement from the material existence. Therefore, those who are intelligent a person should fully competent, one should be very competent to distinguish what is wrong from right and endeavor to achieve highest goal of life as long as body is stout and strong. That is whole idea. This is the same verses we have spoken previously, 11, 9, 29. In these verses, the same point has been mentioned. Labda sudulabham idam bahusambhammate manusyam arthadam anityam apiyadhira tunnam jatate na pated anumurtu javan nishrayasya visho khalu sarvatasa. Tunnam jatate na pated. After many, many birth and death, one active rare human form of life, which although temporary affords one opportunity to attain highest perfection. The sober human being should quickly endeavor for ultimate perfection of life, nishrayasa. As long as his body, which is always subject to death, has not fallen down and died. As long as we are strong and stout and capable, we must endeavor for the ultimate perfection of life, that is Krishna consciousness. After all, sense gratification is available even in the most abominable spaces of life, whereas Krishna consciousness is possible only for human being. Beautiful. So-called sense gratification which we are so much intoxicated, so much captivated, it is available even in the most abominable spaces like hogs, dogs, fish. But as far as Krishna consciousness is concerned, it is possible only for human being. Therefore, it is enjoined in the teaching of Prahlada Maharaj. One should endeavor for those who are competent, one should not waste time, endeavor for the perfection of life, as long as this body which is not fallen down, which is strong and stout. So here very nicely telling, Prahlada Maharaj is continuing. So we will go to rather, because it will take time, we will go directly to this here, so that we can know, we can go through all the subject matters, otherwise we cannot finish it. So here it says that every human being has a maximum life duration of life of 100 years. Okay, go here also. Every human being has a maximum duration of 100 years. But for one who cannot control his senses, half of those years are completely lost, because at night he sleeps 12 hours, being covered by ignorance. Therefore, such a person has lifetime only 50 years. So let's say we have 100 years. Of course, it is not possible to live 100 years. Taken for granted, Kali Yuga is for 100 years, because due to our habit, what is called bad irregular habits, we have reduced our life. Not even 100 is coming down. So let's say 50 out of 150 hours. This is a division of our 100 years by Prahlada Maharaj. So 50 years is lost by sleeping. So we have only 50 left. Then this 50 also divided into tender age of childhood, when everyone is built, or one passes 10 years. 10 years gone. 50 minus 10, 40 years. Similarly, boyhood engaged in sporting and playing, one passes another 10 years. 40 minus 10, 30 left. In this way, 20 years are wasted. Yes. 50 minus 20 is equal to 30 now. We have 30 years left. Similarly, in old age, one is invalid, unable to perform any material activity. One passes another 20 years. That means we have got 50 minus 10 childhood, 10 boyhood, and 20 old. 50 minus 40. Only 10 years left. We have 10 years only left. Grapena kamena mohanasi. And one whose mind and sense are uncontrolled become increasingly attached to family life because of insatiable lust desire, very strong illusion. In such madman's life, remaining years are also wasted because even during those years he cannot engage himself in devotion. See, out of 100 years, very nice division of Prahlada Maharaj. 50 years sleeping, is going sleeping. Somebody may say, sir, I am not sleeping 12 hours, I am sleeping 8 hours. But the 4 hours is preparing to sleep. So that's why it is 12 years here, 12 hours it is taken. So there are total 12 hours in a day, means 50% is gone. Supposing we are living for 100 years, 50 years gone, 50%. 50 years is wasted simply by sleeping. And out of 50 years, 10 years childhood, 10 year boyhood, 20 years old. 50 minus 40, another 10 years. Only 10 years we have left for Bhagavatam Dharma, Dharma, Bhagavatan, yeah, to execute this Krishna consciousness or Bhagavad Dharma. But that 10 years also wasted if one is entangled, encumbered in family life. Family life is very encumberment, entanglement. Because insatiable lusty desire very strong. This is what is stated, this one. Insatiable. This is, yes. This family life is very, very precarious. It is stated here, 11. So many places. How wasting. Accepting the roles of male, female in human society, the conditions will unite in sexual relationship, thus constantly make material endeavor to eliminate their unhappiness, ultimately increase their pleasure. But one should see that inevitable active exactly opposite. This family life is pretty much encumbrment. It is stated that this Kodev Goswami is very nicely speaking this. Niddai hiryatinaktam bevavana chavabhaya dibacharthaya rajan kutumba bharanena. How we pass these 10 years. This 10 years also which we have left for the Krishna consciousness, how we are wasting. The lifetime of such an envious household is passed at night either in sleeping or in sex indulgence, in the daytime either in making money or maintaining family. Nyunam pramata kurute vikrama. The whole idea is this sense gratification, lusty desire. In this way, we are wasting our time at night and daytime also to maintain that, to earn money and for self gratification. In this way, we are wasting whole time. We are so much in household life, we are so much attached to this family and all. We forget moho illusion. Guruaketra sutatta biteir janasya moham aham mameti. We have forgotten this human form of life to execute Krishna consciousness. We are illusion, I, me, mine, my family, my things, all the things. In this way, we forget it. Therefore, this 10 years also wasted by this so much family, lusty desire in family and combined. So we will go to the next verse, what Prahlada Maharaj is saying. Sorry, 7:6. So he is saying that the 10 years also uh, because of lusty desire. So we are spending this time. This is also stated in very nicely in this beautiful verse. There's so many verses in this regard. 7:9:45 also there, I think. 7:9:45. Yeah, it is there in 7:9:45 also this verse. Yanmauthanaadigrahame sukham mitucham kalunena karoriva dukha dukham. Tripantne hakurpana bahudukha bhajo kandutyamanasi janam visahedriya. This lusty desire sex life is compared to robbing of two hands live and eat. Grihamed is the so-called grihast who have no spiritual knowledge. Think that this eating is the greatest platform of happiness, although actually it is a source of distress. The Kripanas fools who are just opposite of Brahmana are not satisfied by repeated sensuous enjoyment. Those who are dhira, however, are sober to tolerate this eating is not subject to suffering of food. This is all how they are past the time because of lusty desire. They pass the 10 years also, which has been given to them, that also with this in this human form of life, men and women unite for sensual pleasure of sex, but by actual experience we have observed none of them are happy. Therefore, sin control life. So this is all idea. In this way, they are spending their time of 10 years also, which is very important. 10 years. So then we can go to the next verse where Prahlada Maharaj is speaking about 7, 6, 9, 30 verses to complete it. Gogruhe supuman saktam atmanam madindriya sneha pasedate badham seya vimochitam. Very nice verse. What person who attached to a household life due to being unable to control his sense can liberate himself? An attached householder is bound very strongly by the ropes of affection for his family, wife, children, and other relatives. Beautiful verses. A person is so attached to his family, how he can liberate? So much senses control, unable to control his senses. This is what it is stated in this beautiful Prahlad Maharaj say to his father. You cannot go arouse Krishna consciousness, sir. Why? Because Matirna Krishna Parato Swatava Mitho Vipadyate Grihavatana Andanto Adanto Govi Visatam Tamisram Punna Punnaschavitam Sabanana. Because of their uncontrolled sense, persons who are addicted to material life make progress toward hellish condition, repeatedly chew that which has already been chewed. Their inclination towards Krishna are never aroused, either by instruction of others, by their own efforts, or by combination of both. So here it is said that because uncontrolled senses and therefore they are so much attached to the family, they cannot arouse Krishna consciousness. They wasted the remaining 10 years. Remaining 10 years also wasted because of this uncontrolled sense and attachment to their family. It is stated here that Brahmaji also spoke, my dear Krishna, until people become your devotee, their material attachment, desire remain thieves, their homes remain prisons, their affectionate feeling for their family members remain food cycles. They have no idea. They do not see that they are wasting their time not being Krishna consciousness. They do not understand this fact. देहपत्य कलात्रिदासु आत्मसन्यासु असुत्वपि तेषां प्रमथनिधं पश्चानापि. Person devoid of Atma Tattva do not inquire into the problem of life. Being too attached to the fallible soldiers like body, children, and wife, although sufficiently experienced that they still do not see their inevitable destruction. Beautiful instruction, Sukadev Goswami. This is the theme, this is the teaching of Prahlada Maharaja. They are so much attached. They are wasting the remaining of the time. They are wasting their remaining of the time. Kaha gruhesu puman. How can they liberate? They cannot liberate. They are bound by so much. They cannot liberate. Strong ropes. Strong ropes. This is the Uru, what is that verse? Urudhamni Banda. This is Te Sapitantram. These beautiful verses. Prahlad Maharaj is speaking that. Na te vidu satha gatimi visu. They do not know their self-interest. Durasaya Bahirathamanina. They are captivated by Bahiratha. All these wife, children, these are external, glamour. Andha Janthandar Upaniyama Tepi Santram Urudhamni Bataha. They are strongly entrapped by the consciousness of enjoying material life. We have therefore accepted as the leader of Guru similar blind men attached to external sense objects. Cannot understand the goal of life to return home back to Godhead. Our whole goal of life is to return home back to Godhead. Engage in the Northe Biddu Shastra Gatimi Vishnu and engage in the service of Lord Vishnu. As a blind man guided by another blind man may the right path fall into ditch. Material attachment led by another material attachment are bound by ropes of fruitive labor which are made of very strong cords, and they continue again and again in materialistic life, suffering threefold measure. Therefore it is Prahlad Maharaj say that they cannot. How they can liberate themselves? This is not possible. That is not possible. Because they are entrapped. They are entrapped. Bahirarthamanina. They do not know their self-interest. They cannot liberate it. Kova artha trisnam visrajat pranevai ipsitaha yam krinnate asubhi prastyes taskaraha sevaka bane. Money is so dear that one considers the money as being sweeter than honey. Therefore, who can give up the desire to accumulate money, especially in household life? These professional servant, soldier, merchant try to acquire money even by risking their very dear life. See, this money is so much money, brighter than sunshine, sweeter than honey. The money so much particular in household life, because in brahmachari, grahastha, sorry, banaprastha and sannyasi, they are not meant to work. Only grahastha household life is meant to work. So for them, they're so much captivated by accumulate money. Without money, we cannot enjoy the senses. That is the basis of our enjoyment. Therefore, they are going for. I mean, who can give up that? They're so much captivated. It is stated by Prahlada Maharaja also that money is so bewildering. Uh, this beautiful. Sorry, Narada Muni said this one. Narada Vacha. So Narada Muni here said that among all attraction of material enjoyment, the attraction of riches builds one intelligence more than having beautiful bodily feature, taking birth in aristocratic family, being learned when one is uneducated but falsely puffed up by wealth. Result is that one engages his wealth in enjoying wine, home, and gambling. That's why sense gratification is more attractive than any other the money. Therefore, who can give up this money? It is stated in this beautiful verses also that Athrendriya, Abhidhayanam, or for human society constantly thinking of how to earn money, apply it for sense gratification, bring about the destruction of everyone's interest. That is what the Prahlad Maharaj is teaching. You are after money, you cannot give up accumulating money for sense gratification. But you do not know it's bring about the destruction of everyone's self-interest. Everyone's interest is to go back to Godhead, not a viddu sarthagati Vishnu. When one becomes devoid of knowledge and devotional service, he enters into spaces like those of trees and stones. That is our repercussion. Therefore, Prahlad Maharaj is teaching, don't go after this. Don't go after, you have very, very 10 years only remaining. That 10 years also you are going after accumulating money for sense gratification, attached to your family. So much for that purpose. This is not at all good. Even the Prabhupada of this Navajogendra also is speaking about the money. Wealth is a perpetual source of distress. It is most difficult to acquire. It is virtual death for the soul. It is a virtual death because you waste your time. Therefore, what satisfaction does one actually gain from wealth, from his wealth? Similarly, how can one enjoy any genuine happiness from those things who are gained or maintained by one's hard-earned money, such as home, children, relative, domestic animal? Since they are all temporary, the money is temporary. The money you are earning for those people, house, home, domestic animal, relative, children, they are also temporary. What kind of happiness you will derive? There is no genuine happiness. So therefore it is a source of distress and virtual death for the soul. So Prahlad Maharaj's teaching is so bang on very, very tremendously, stupendously relevant to this contemporary 21st century of corporate rat race, corporate people, the modern people, modern hedonistic people. Then we will go to the next verse, what Prahlad Maharaj is speaking, now the 11 to 13. Oh, 11 to 13 is very good verse. It's about household life. How can a person who is most affectionate to his family, the core of his heart, being always filled with the picture, give up their association? Especially wife is always very kind, sympathetic, always please her husband in solitary face. Who could give up the association of such dear and affectionate wife? Small children talk in broken language. Very pleasing to hear their affectionate father always think of their sweet words. How could he give up their association? Once elderly parents, one son's daughter are also very dear. A daughter is especially dear to her father, and while living at her husband's house is always in his mind. Who could give up that association? Aside from this household affair, there are many decorated items, the household furniture, there are also animal servant. Who could give up such comforts? The attached household is like a silkworm which wraps a cocoon which it becomes imprisoned. Unable to get out simply for the satisfaction, too important sense, then it will in the tongue, one is bound by mental condition. How can one escape? Bang on the truth, the very unpalatable truth. It's bang on. How we can give up this family life? How can you give up all these comforts? That is very, very impossible to give up for the householder life. Therefore, it is very strong attachment. It is stated in this beautiful verse by Rishabhadev that पुंसा स्त्रिया मिथुनि भावमेतं तयोर्मिथहृदय ग्रंथिम आहु अहो अतो गृहक्षेत्र सुताप्तविते So taptabite janasya mohoyam aham mameti. The attraction between male and female and the basic of material existence, principle of material existence. On this basis of the misconception, when which tries together the heart of the male and female, one becomes attracted to his body, home, property, children, relatives, wealth. In this way, one increases the life illusion, thinks in terms of I and mine. Very difficult to give up this conception. The misconception, I and me, so much attached. So he is telling how the pitfalls of household life, the horrors of household life. Prahlada Maharaja is pointing out in his teaching the horrors of household life. There are also very difficult to give up this one. So then go to the next verse. We will be, because time constraint, so we to rush with next one. 7:6:14. The next verse is speaking about Prahlad Maharaj. One is two attacks cannot understand is wasting his valuable time for maintenance of his family. He also fails to understand that purpose of human life is suitable for realization of the absolute truth. He is being imperceptibly spoiled. However, he is very cleverly attentive to seeing is not a single thing lost by mismanagement. That although an attached person is in material existence always suffer from threefold of misery, he does not develop a distaste for the way of material existence. This is the problem. But although says the pasanapi na pasante, all they waste, first of all, they waste time also, although they see that things are very precarious, but they are very oblivion to all this precarious situation. Tasmad, sorry, this verse it is stated also that they know that all this, Vyapatya Kalatri Daso Atma Sannyasa Sutvapi. Such a person complacency believe that the nation, community, family can protect them. Unaware that also fallible soldier, he will be destroyed in due course of time. In conclusion, one should try to see this is the whole idea that he will be destroyed. He do not know. He is very oblivion to his impending danger. He is so much attached, and he is spoiling his time. The previous verses already shown that he is spoiling his time. Nidra hiraktanattam. Night time is simply indulged in sleeping or self indulgence. Daytime earning money for maintaining family member. In this way, he is wasting time. Without Krishna consciousness, Sarmaya, why Kevala is wasting time. You do not know that. He is thinking, I am doing a very great thing. But it is stated in the beautiful verses where it is say that, forget this verse, 429 and A or something. Forget that verse. So it is said that even animal is very good in maintaining this family. What is the greatness about the human being? So in this way they are wasting their time. Then we will go to the next verse. O my friend, son of demons, in this material world, even those who are apparently advanced in education have propensity to consider this is mine, that is for others. Thus, they are always engaged in providing the necessity of life to their family in a limited conception of life, family life. Just like uneducated cats and dogs, they are unable to take to spiritual knowledge. Instead, they are wielded to overcome by ignorance. This is very important part. So this is again they are thinking that I, me, mine. Janasya moham aham mameti. This is what the illusion. This verse is there where it is said that there is so much illusion with this fact that aham mameti. The beautiful verses I forget. Where is that verse? Aham mameti. I mean mine. Dhanasya moham aham mameti. The beautiful verses it is stated that how they are bewildered by this one. So it is very nice verse. Yeah, 6:16. I don't know, 6:16, 16, 57. It is Kai, Kai. No, it's not verse. See, while living from forget speaker, I need to otherwise, identifying identity, mind becomes body response like white. In this way, the influence of just one body comes to another. So this is what is I, me, mind factor. They are always in this I, me, mind. They are thinking that, oh, this is mine, this is I. See, in this way, they are so much bewildered by this one. 319 or something. Anyway, this beautiful verse somewhere it is there. I mean, mind there's two verses are there. 7, 6, 17 we will go. So here it is stated that, my dear friend, O son of demon, it is certain that no one bereft of knowledge of Supreme Personality has been able to liberate himself from material bondage at any time in any country. Rather, those bereft of knowledge of Lord are bound by the material laws. They are actually addicted to sense gratification. Their target is woman. Indirectly, they are actually placing in the hand of attractive women. Because by such a conception, they become surrounded by children, grandchildren, great grandchildren. They are shackled to material bondage. Those who are very much addicted to the conception of life are called demons. Are called demons. Therefore, although you are son of demons, keep aloof from such a person. Take shelter of Supreme Personality God and Narayan, origin of all demigods, because the ultimate goal of for devotees of Narayan is liberation from bondage of material existence. This is a very important one. This is a very good teaching. So here it is telling that this those who are bereft of knowledge that what is my actual self-interest goal of life, they are so much into sense gratification. Suttavadini Rajendra Ninnam Santi Apasattam Atmatottam. They are bereft of knowledge. Gruhesu Gruhamedina. They are simply after sense enjoyment. Yunam Pramata Kurute Vikrama Naindriya Priti Apornati. So they are all after this Indriya Priti. Na sadhumanyata atmanayam asonopi klesa dasya deha. When a person considers sense gratification, the aim of life, he certainly becomes mad after materialistic living and engaged in all kind of sinful activity. He does not know that due to his past misdeed, he has already received body, which although temporary is the cause of misery. So this is the thing. Yunam pramata kurte vikrama. They're so much into this aim of life, so much into this sense gratification. They do not know. As long as one does not inquire about spiritual value of life, one is defeated and subject to misery arising from ignorance. They are ignorance. They do not know because they do not inquire spiritual life. Therefore, they are always morose, always having problem. So this is the thing. So they are always into problem. They do not understand this problem of life. 7, 6, 9, 10. My dear son, Demon Supreme Person Narayan is the original super soul, father of all living entities. Consequently, there are no impediments to pleasing him, worshipping him under any condition, whether one be a child or old man. The relationship between living entity and the Supreme Personality of Godhead is always a fact. Therefore, there is no difficulty in pleasing him. So, very nice say that. Narayan is original super father. Hum Vijapra Pitha. Sabajonisu Konte Hum Vijapra. He is the seed giving father. So his father, and consequently, there is no impeding to pleasing him. There is no ahitiki aprata, there is no impeding because he is our father. There is no question of impediment, whether he is a old or a child. And relationship between the living entity and the Supreme Personality of God, it is always a fact because we are eternally related. Mama Vivansa Jiva Loko Jiva Sanasana. There is no difficulty in pleasing the Lord. Pleasing Lord also very not difficulty. Prabhupada written as Sarva Joni Sukonteya Ham Bija Pratapita. Krishna is the father. So there is no impediment. We have to execute Sarvanam Kirtanam Vishnu. So easily we can please the Lord. Parama Vijayati Sri Krishna Sankirtana, by process of Sankirtana, we can easily please the Lord. So there is no very difficult task, easy way, particularly in this age of Kali, easy. Sravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam, simply by hearing and chanting. So then he is continuing with this verse. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Supreme Controller, who is infallible, indefatigable, is present in different forms of life, from the inert living beings, Tabara, such as plants, to Brahma, foremost created living being. He is also present in varieties of material creation and the material elements, the total material energy, the modes of material nature, Sattagun, Rajagun, Tamagun, as well as unmanifested material nature and false ego. Although he is one, he is present everywhere, he is also the transcendental super soul, the cause of all causes, who is present as the observer in the course of heart of all living entities. He is indicated as that which is pervaded and as all pervading super soul. But actually he cannot be indicated. He is changeless, undivided. He is simply perceived as a supreme Sachidananda, eternity, knowledge and bliss, being covered by the curtain of the external energy to the atheist appears non-existent. So it is here telling that all pervading nature of Krishna, omnipresent. Mayatatam idam sarvam jagata. Mayatatam idam sarvam. I am pervading everywhere. All pervading. Everywhere is energy. Parasya Sakti, everywhere is energy. So everywhere is Brahma Jyoti, everywhere is all providing. Andantarastha Chayantarastham. It is said that everywhere. He is every in this Brahma Samhita also say that this he is 535. That ekapyaso rachayitam jagadanda kotim yaschakirasti jagadanda chayandantandantarasa paramam chayantam govinda madhursa. So is always everywhere, all pervasive, even in the atom also. His existence is everywhere, but we do not find it. We do not find, the atheist cannot find it, his existence. He has existed in three ways. He has existed as a Brahman, Maya tatam idam sarvam. As a Brahman, he has existed everywhere. Brahmeti Paramatmati Vadanti Tattva Vidya Tattvam Yadganam Advayam Brahmeti Paramatmati Bhagavan Sabhyate. So he is, as a Brahman, he is everywhere spreading. Maya tatam Jagata Abhyakta Murtina. As a invisible form, Abhyakta, unmanifested form, he is everywhere spreading, even in atom also. Ekapyasura Chaitam Jagadanda Koti. Then Paramatma, he is there, everybody heart, as a super soul. Sarvabhutanam Hudasya Tishtati Arjuna. As a Bhagavan is there, but the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But the atheist cannot see. Although he is everywhere exists, but atheist cannot. Because Naham Sarvasya Prakasa Jogo Maya Samabhitam. He is not manifested to the atheist. Maya Javanika Achanna. That is Kunti Devi is praying. You are Javanika Achanna, you are being closed, you are being covered. The beautiful verses from Bhagavatam, Kunti Devi is praying. Maya Javanika Achanna, you are Achanna means you are not seen by ordinary men, although you are everywhere inside, outside, but you are not available to everyone. Alakyam Sarvabhutanam Antarbhairavastita. You are everywhere, all providing, but you are not visible to them. Why? Maya Javanika Achanam Agya Adhakyam Abhayam. Being beyond the range of limited sense perception, you are eternally irreproachable factor covered by the curtain of deluding energy. You are invisible to foolish observer, exactly as an actor dressed as a player is not recognized. So this is what the teaching of that. Although you are everywhere, foolish atheists, they do not understand. They say God is dead. They do not understand that everything is conducted by God. Without God, we cannot exist. Then we can go to the next verse. Alright, 24. Therefore, my dear young friends, born of demons, please act in such a way that Supreme Lord, who is beyond the conception of material knowledge, will be satisfied. Give up your demoniac nature, act without enmity and duality. Show mercy to all living entities by enlightening them in devotional service, thus becoming their well-wisher. This is Prabhupada, is a beautiful purport. Prabhupada said that Krishna say, Bhagavad Gita Bhaktyamam Abhijananti Jamanjata Samitat. One can understand Supreme Personality Godhead is only by devotional service. Prahlada Maharaja ultimately instructed his last son of the demon to accept the process of devotional service by preaching the science of Krishna consciousness to everyone. Preaching is the best service to the Lord. Lord will immediately be extremely satisfied one who engages in this in his service of preaching Krishna consciousness. This is confirmed by Lord Himself in Bhagavad Gita. It says, "There is no servant in this world more dear to me than he, nor will there be ever more dear." If one sincerely tries to best to spread Krishna consciousness by preaching the glories of the Lord and His supremacy, even he is imperfectly educated. Never mind, he is not so educated. He becomes dear more servant of Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is bhakti. And one performs this service of humanity without discrimination between friends and enemy, Lord becomes satisfied and the mission of one's life is fulfilled. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore advised everyone to become Guru devotee and the Guru devotee, not real Guru devotee, and preach Krishna consciousness. Jare dekha tare kaha Krishna upadesh. That is the easiest way to realize supreme absolute truth. And by such preaching, the preacher becomes satisfied, and the whom he preaches, he also satisfied. This is a process of bringing peace and tranquility to. So this is the way that how we should please the Lord. Beautiful purport by Prabhupada. So therefore, Prahlada Maharaj is telling that you accept this devotional also. Don't waste your time in this life. Very, very hundred of human form of life, very rare. Therefore, you should any time it will be destroyed. Better you start from the beginning. eh, Then you should not waste your time, because 90% of your time has been wasted sleeping, childhood, boyhood, etc. Only 10%, and that 10% also do not waste time because of family attachment for sense gratification and money. So better you try this Bhagavatam, adopt this Bhagavatam Dharma, and try to preach others, so that Lord is pleased. The Supreme Lord will be pleased with us. Beautiful preaching of nothing is unobtainable for devotee who have satisfied Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the causes of all causes, the original source of everything. The Lord is reservoir of unlimited spiritual quality for devotees, therefore, who are transcendental to the modes of material nature. What is the use of following the principle of religion, economic development, sense gratification, liberation, which are all automatically obtainable under the influence of modes of nature? We devotee always glorify lotus feet of the Lord, and therefore we need not ask for anything in terms of dharma, kama, artha. So this is very important point. Nothing is obtainable when Lord is pleased. Jagat Jagannath Tustam Jagat Tustam. If Lord is satisfied, everything is satisfied. There is nothing more to be. Yam labda cha paramalabham. Na manyate adhikam tatam. Yad tad vigyanam sarvam vigyanam eta sarvetam vigyanam bhavati. So once Lord is pleased, then there is nothing else. Because this devotional service, after that there is nothing. This is a beautiful verses Lord spoke to Uddhava regarding this. That bhaktim labdhva sadho kim anyad avishyasyate maya ananta gune brahmani anandanu bhavatatmyani. Anubhavatmani, Ananda Anubhavatmani. What more remains to be accomplished for the perfect devotee after achieving devotional service unto me, Supreme Absolute Truth, whose qualities are innumerable, who am the embodiment of all ecstatic experience. So here said there is nothing to be acted for the devotee. Once he pleased, Lord is pleased by the bhakti. Krishna say only bhaktya mam abhijananti, bhaktya mam na mam sadhyati yogo na tapatroyo. What Krishna say in this verse, na sadhati mam yogo na श्रद्धाय na tapastyaga yatha mama yatha bhaktir mamorjita. Only devotional service satisfy me. Krishna akarshani, Krishna bhakti akarshani. Only by bhakti, bhaktya tutasya bhagavana, bhaktya tutasya. Krishna only satisfied by devotional service. This is what spoken also by Prahlada Maharaja. Bhaktya tutasya bhagavana. Bhaktya tutasya bhagavana means Lord is satisfied only by devotional service. So once one achieves the devotional service of the Lord, there is nothing to remain. That is the purpose of this teaching of Prahlada Maharaj. That nothing is to be obtained. Yam labdacham paramalabha. Once you please the Lord by devotional service. Lord is the reservoir of unlimited spiritual quality. Oh, beautiful. For devotee, therefore, who are transcendental to the modes of prayer. So Lord is spiritual, full of spiritual qualities. Uttama sloka gunanubannam is reservoir of all this unlimited spiritual quality. Aishyaryasya samagrasya virasya. Everything is full. So for devotees, they do not go for the dharma artha kama moksha. They are not there. All dharma artha kama moksha is under the modes of material nature. But those who are devotee, sagunan samatitaitam brahma bhuvaya kalpate. Devotee who are engaged in devotional service, they are above this modes. Therefore, they are not interested in so-called dharma artha kama moksha, which is conducted by material modes of nature. Mamcha bhavicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatitaitam brahma bhuvaya kalpate. One who engaged in full devotional service, unfailing in all circumstances, at once transcends the modes of material nature. Thus comes to the level of Brahman. So they are transcend. They are not interested in this dharma artha kama moksha, which is under material modes of nature, conducted under material. So we devotee always glorify lotus feet of the Lord, therefore we do not ask for anything in terms of dharma. So they are simply, they do not, na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim kavitamba jagadi sakame, mama janmani janmani sure bhavatad bhakti. They do not care, they always glorify lotus feet of Tadaviryam. What is that word? Tadaviryam agnachita. Prahlada Maharaj is telling, I am always absorbed in your Tadavira, always glorifying. Sarvanam, Kirtanam, Dhyanam, Hare Adbhuta Karmana. Wonderful activities of the Lord. Devotee always, engage in hearing, chanting, and remembering the glorious activities of the Lord. Adbhuta Karmana, wonderful activities. Tabakara Karmala Bare, Naka Adbhuta Sringha. These wonderful activities of the Lord. They are always absorbed. So they do not seek, they do not ask also in terms of dharma, artha, kama, moksha. No, na dhanam, na dhanam, na sundarim. Nothing they want. Navai jache rajyam na chakanakamanika vivavam, najache ham ramyam sakala janakamyam varabhadram sada kare kare pramatapati Gita charita Jagannath Swami naina patagami bhav. They only want to glorify your activities. That is the devotee, symptoms of devotee. Satatam kirtanta mam yatantasya duddhavata namasyanta chamadhavata nitya jukto pasa. They do not want anything. They are very satisfied. Bodhanti parasparam. Bodhanti madachita madagata prana bodhanti parasparam kathanta chamam nityam tushtanti cha ramanti cha. They are after all these things. They are happy with that. They do not care for all this dharma artha kama. Neither they ask for this. It will automatically come to them. It's under the modes. So then Prahlada Maharaja is speaking that religious, economic development, sense gratification, these are described in Veda as three vargas, three ways to salvation. Within the three category are education, self-realization, ritualistic ceremony performed according to Vedic internal logic, science of law and order, various means of earning one's livelihood. There are external subject matter of study in Veda. Therefore, I consider them in material. However, consider surrender to the lotus feet to be trans. Very, very important. Vedas are enjoined how to do this dharma, artha, kama, etc. But Prahlada Maharaj is rejected. He is told, I consider surrendering to lotus feet of the Lord is to be transcendental. All others are very under modes. Therefore, Krishna says, Triguna Vishaya Buddha Nistrayaguna Bhavarjuna. Don't be in the modes. You go above the modes. Above the modes. That means transcendental Krishna consciousness. Sarva dharman parityadam mamekam saranam. That is whole idea. Surrendering to Savai Punsam Paro Dharma Jato Bhaktir Adhokya Ahituki Apratita Jadatma Suprasidat. This Bhakti is transcendental. Bhakti is transcendental, is not under the modes actually. Brahma Bhutta Prasanatma na sochati na kankati Samah Sarvabhutesu Madha Bhakti Labate Param. They are transcendental. They are not under the modes. Therefore, one should go above the modes and execute Krishna consciousness. That is whole teaching up. Then in this 27, another 3 verses to go. So Narayana, Supreme Personality of God, is the well-wisher of friend, all living entity, formally explained this transcendental knowledge to the great Saint Narada. Such knowledge is extremely difficult to understand without mercy of saintly person like Narada. But everyone who has taken shelter of Narada districts can understand confidence. This is important. This Mahajanadana Gate Sapanta. This Narayana, Krishna spoke, God spoke to this representative devotee, confidential devotee Narada Muni. Narada Muni spoke to Prahlada, now speaking to his Demoniac, the school fellow, this fellow, the PS. This is called Papa system. This is for therefore we should follow this Papa Mahajana Jayanta Sapanta. We should follow the instruction of Mahajana to perfect our life. I received this knowledge from the great Saint Narada Muni, which always engage in devotion. This knowledge, which is called Bhagavata Dharma, full scientific, it is based on logic, philosophy, free from all material contamination. So this is what the Prahlada Maharaj, when he was in the womb of his mother Kayadu, so he received from Narada Muni. So this is the way of receiving from the great Mahajana Bhakta Sapanta. Received from the great souls. So this is the like last verse is there, yeah. Some people say that you know, we know in each other, other than some kind in some of the which they are open for you, especially who always mean in the people. You are afraid of that. How it is possible for you to hear Narada kindly display. So they are asking that you are also our peers. We have never seen other than any teacher than the son of Sukracharya, the son Sanda and Namarka. And you are always also in palace, you don't go out also. How it is possible for you to learn from Narada Muni? When did you meet? So actually he met this is revealed in the next part 2 session, 7 canto of 7, that how when Hiranyakashipu went for the tapasya, austerity, to become immortal, he was doing tapasya for 1,000 celestial year to please Brahmaji. So that time Kayadu, the demigods attacked the palace and they want to kill the Kayadus. And so that the Kayadu was that time pregnant. The child which is going to be born from the Hiranyakashipu, also will be killed, because they are suspecting, conjecturing that that child also become like Hiranyakasipu. They better to kill them. But Narada Muni stopped them. He told them he is the Mahabhagavata, who is the Mahabhagavata. Therefore, the demigods stopped this idea of killing Kayadu and the child in the womb, and they were circumambulating the left. Then the Kayadu, when he was pregnant, he took shelter of Narada Muni as long as he delivered. That time Narada Muni in the ashram, he was speaking about the Bhagavad Dharma to Kayadu, and within the womb of Kayadu, the Hiranyakasipu, Prahlada Maharaj mothers, Prahlada Maharaj heard about all this. So it will be revealed, it will be narrated in the next canto. Thank you very much. Ganthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Narsingadev Bhakta Vigna Vinasana Narsingadev Bhagavan ki jai, Bhaktaraj Prahlad Maharaj ki jai, Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol.